Hey everyone, and welcome to the Wealthnetic channel. Let me ask you a question. When you hear the words getting rich, what comes to mind? Cutting up your credit cards, saying no to every single latte, living a life of extreme, painful frugality. What if I told you that's all wrong? What if the secret to building wealth isn't about deprivation, but about designing a life you absolutely love? Today, we're diving into a book that completely changed my perspective on money. I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. This isn't your typical personal finance book filled with guilt trips and complicated jargon. Ramit's philosophy is radical, refreshing, and surprisingly simple. He argues that you can spend extravagantly on the things you love, as long as you cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't. It's about creating a rich life, which is different for everyone. For you, it might be traveling the world first class. For someone else, it might be the freedom to work on a passion project without worrying about the bills. So, if you're tired of feeling anxious about money and ready to start building your own version of a rich life, stick around. We're going to break down the core principles of this incredible book and give you the exact steps to get started. The foundation of Ramit's system is what he calls the 4 pillars of personal finance: banking, saving, investing, and spending. It's not about being a genius, but about setting up systems that work for you automatically. First up is banking. Let's be honest, most of us stick with the same bank we've had since high school. But Ramit points out that many big banks are a total rip-off, charging you absurd fees for everything. eSolution. Switch to an online high-yield checking and savings account. These accounts often have no minimum balance, no monthly fees, and, most importantly, they pay you a much higher interest rate on your savings. It's free money. Making this one switch can earn you hundreds of dollars a year, just for letting your money sit in a smarter place. Next, and this is the magic bullet, is saving and investing. Ramit is a huge advocate for automation. Why? Because willpower is a finite resource. You might feel motivated to save one day, but the next day, that new gadget looks too good to resist. The core idea is to pay yourself first. This means setting up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings and investment accounts the day you get paid. Before you can even think about spending it, a portion of your money is already working for you. It's a 6-week program in the book, but the essence is simple. Decide on a percentage to save and automate it. Start with 1%, 5%, whatever you can manage. The key is to start now. Let's talk about the big one, investing. This is where so many people get paralyzed by fear and confusion. Ramit demystifies it beautifully. He says the single best thing most people can do is invest in low-cost index funds. What's an index fund? Think of it as a basket that holds tiny pieces of hundreds or thousands of the biggest companies, instead of trying to pick the next big winner. Stock, which is basically gambling, you're betting on the entire market to grow over time. And historically, it does. You can do this through a Roth IRA, which is an amazing retirement account where your money grows tax-free, or a 401k, if your employer offers one. The message is clear. Don't just save your money, invest it. That's how you truly build wealth. Saving is for short-term goals. Investing is for long-term freedom. Finally, we get to the fun part. Conscious spending. This is what sets Ramit apart. He doesn't want you to feel guilty about buying a coffee. Instead, he wants you to create a conscious spending plan. You divide your after-tax income into 4 categories. Fixed costs, like rent and utilities, aiming for 50 to 60%. Investments 10%, savings goals 5 to 10%. And finally, guilt-free spending money, 20 to 35%. That last category is your permission slip to spend on whatever you want, without an ounce of guilt. If you love fine dining, great. Allocate your guilt-free money there. If you don't care about designer clothes, then don't spend a dime on them. It's about aligning your spending with your values. Ramit shares a great story in the book about a couple who was arguing about money. The husband loved buying expensive leather jackets, and the wife thought it was a complete waste. Instead of just saying no, Ramit had them dig deeper. They realized the husband valued high quality, long-lasting items, while the wife valued unique travel experiences. They weren't bad with money. Their values just differed. By creating a conscious spending plan, they allocated money for both. The husband could save up for his jacket, and the wife could save for her trips, all guilt-free. They stopped fighting about a $10 purchase because they knew the big picture was handled. They were a team working toward their individual rich lives together. That's the power of this system. It turns money from a source of anxiety into a tool for joy. Another powerful example is Ramit's own approach to a wedding. Culturally, there was pressure to have a massive, expensive event. But Ramit and his wife sat down and asked, what do we actually want? They decided the most important thing was to have an incredible, week-long celebration with their closest friends and family. So they spent a ton on the things that mattered to them, like the venue, food, and experience, and they completely cut out things they didn't care about, like traditional invitations and other minor details that add up. They had their rich life wedding, and it was on their terms. This is conscious spending in action. So, how can you start implementing this today? I've got 3 actionable takeaways for you. First, this weekend, open a high-yield savings account. It takes about 15 minutes online. Compare a few options like Ali Bank, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, or Capital One 360. Link it to your primary checking account. This is your first step to making your money work harder for you. Second, figure out your one number. What percentage of your take-home pay can you automatically transfer to savings and investments each month? Don't just pick a number, even if it's just 1%. Log into your payroll system or bank account and set up that automatic transfer for the day after you get paid. Done. You've just become an automatic saver and investor. Third, and this is a fun one, define your rich life. Grab a notebook and write down what you would do if money were no object. Be specific. Travel to Japan for the cherry blossoms. Take a 3-month sabbatical to write a book. Buy front row tickets to see your favorite artist. Then pick one of those things and create a savings goal for it. Give it a name, like Japan Trip Fund. Start putting a small amount of money towards it. This reframes saving from a chore into an exciting journey toward a goal you truly care about. The core message of I Will Teach You to Be Rich is that managing money doesn't have to be restrictive or complicated. It's about designing a system that runs in the background, freeing up your time and mental energy to focus on living a life you genuinely love. It's about saying yes to the things that matter and no to the things that don't. If this sparked something in you, I highly recommend you pick up Ramit Sethi's book. He goes into so much more detail on credit cards, negotiation, and advanced investing. But the steps we talked about today are the 85% solution. They'll get you most of the way there. Thank you so much for watching. What does your rich life look like? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content to help you live a richer, more intentional life. See you in the next one.